proporcionado. Doy ahora la palabra al señor Tom Fletcher.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I thank the Special Envoy for his efforts to secure a political settlement in Yemen and echo both his New Year wishes and his hopes that the US-Iran ceasefire can bring much-needed respite to the region. Congratulations on the detainee release mediation. Mr. President, colleagues, Yemen's humanitarian crisis is accelerating. Hunger is rising. Our response is stretched to the limit. In just 1 month, the share of people unable to meet basic food needs jumped from half to nearly 60%. Those facing the most extreme deprivation rose from 1 in 4 to nearly 1 in 3. And today, more than 18 million people, over half the population, are acutely hungry. Without urgent action, this will worsen. In government-controlled areas, nearly half the population, around 5 million people, face severe hunger. More than a quarter are in emergency conditions. In Houthi-controlled areas, we lack access and therefore visibility. But a lack of data does not mean a lack of need. Yemenis may be out of sight, they must not be out of mind. Following repeated arbitrary detentions, the UN has had to assess its direct operations in these areas. But humanitarian action continues and must continue. NGOs are carrying much of this effort. They are showing extraordinary courage and commitment. I applaud their dedication and encourage you to fund them first. But we must be clear, less access, less presence, less funding means less food, less medicine, and fewer lives reached. If nothing changes, hunger will deepen, suffering will grow, more lives will be lost. Madam President, a hunger crisis is not just empty plates. It is stolen lives and futures. More than 2.2 million children under 5 are acutely malnourished. Without sustained support, many will carry lifelong consequences. This is driven by a lethal combination: conflict, economic collapse, rising prices, and lost livelihoods, compounded by an overstretched health system. And just as needs rise, support is shrinking. Every funding cut has a human cost: a missed meal, untreated condition, a community cut off from help. Madam President, our Crisis Response Director is in Yemen now, hearing directly from communities. She met yesterday families trapped in repeated displacement, children out of school, disease spreading, women and girls facing acute violence and deprivation, livelihoods shattered by conflict, floods, and drought. Local partners are stepping up, but they cannot do more without sustained funding. The government of Yemen remains engaged and supportive of that response. Madam President, I have 3 asks. First, secure the release of detained colleagues. 73 UN staff and many others remain arbitrarily detained by the Houthi de facto authorities. These are people who chose to serve and are now held in uncertainty, often without contact from their families. Their detention is not just unjust, it directly undermines our ability to save lives. As the Secretary General and this Council have said, this must end immediately and unconditionally. My second ask, fund the response. The humanitarian appeal is less than 15% funded. This is forcing us to scale back operations and leave people behind, even where we can reach them. Third and finally, support peace efforts. Humanitarian action can hold the line, but only just. It cannot end this crisis. Aid can keep people alive, but it cannot alone give Yemenis the future that they deserve. Only a political solution, owned by the people of Yemen and supported by this Council, can do that. Thank you.
Doy las gracias al señor Fletcher por la información que ha proporcionado.